Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you the Sbrick, which is a Lego compatible product. It was funded through the Kickstarter program, and I took the level of pledge where you would get the two Sbricks, and you're supposed to get instructions as well with these. And some of the pledges had Lego sets that came with them, but from what I'm understanding from the emails that they're sending out, that they will be sent out separately. I'm assuming the instructions will just arrive PDF to the email address that we gave to the Sbrick on Kickstarter. So like I said, I got the two Sbrick version, and it comes in a package like so. Just a padded envelope, and inside the padded envelope there was also a magnet, and it just shows the Kickstarter, when it was funded, how much the pledge amount, and it was 146% of the pledge that they wanted to get. Sbrick was actually nice enough to provide some of the stretch goals already, and I do believe the final part is actually in development, so yay. The other thing they also sent was a bunch of stickers, and these were in the padded envelope, so they didn't travel very far. I mean, they had to cross the ocean to get here, so I guess I can't say it's too bad for a padded. But they are different shapes, and you can see like they're pretty good vinyl stickers. They're already pre-cut, and there's two big Sbricks, a bunch of smaller ones. This one is actually a shape for a panel. That's another shape for a panel, and for the smaller panels up here, and a couple black ones. I might use the black ones, but the white ones I don't use very much. So let's look inside the box here. And inside the box there's a tab. I've already opened this one, but we will open this other one. So inside there's going to be a few more stickers. This is a bigger Sbrick sticker, both printed on the same kind of vinyl sticker paper. And then on this one there is three different color Sbricks here, and they are the length of 1x4 tile. Actually a little bit too long, so you have to cut them to make them fit. And then you also have the instruction. Actually it's the warranty, where you probably should write down the purchase date and the place of purchase is the Sbrick. So, and then on the instructions it says just basically you connect it, and you have to use a power functions cable that does not come with it. This is the long version, but you can use the smaller version as well. And then you also need a battery box and a few motors, which we'll look at in a few seconds. And then it basically tells you that you need to go to either the app stores for whichever device you have and look at it and download the app for the rest of the instructions. One thing that isn't really too much on here is what version of the app you need to have. One of my phones didn't work out all that great, but it does work well. I do have an iPhone here to show you with. So the Sbrick itself is here. And now they did make the stair top design. And what we're going to be looking at, these are the Lego receivers. And you can see the comparison. Pretty much the same blues. You see on the one side, there's about the same height right there. And on the one side, you actually have holes. So these were added on during the design process. And you do have an LED light that will blink once power is added to the Sbrick. And the neat thing about these is that you only have two connections on here. You have four. So this is really equivalent to two of these put together. So even if you did something like that, you'll never get it that tight, but you can see that there's much more size restrictions with these infrared receivers. And not to mention this is Bluetooth. So what we will do here is I'll actually take the next step, and we'll look inside it. So I'll just take a fingernail here, Running along. It's a very well made together plastic. So the top comes off. See the inside. You can look at the controls and the pins that come up. The LED light. And you'd have to be an electrical engineer and tell me exactly what this is, but we can wiggle this out probably. Look at the bottom too. Looks like a lot packed into a little area here. I'll take some photographs of this and up close shots, and I'll put them on right now. I'll stop a video right now and I'll put some photos on it. So here's some pictures of the photos. Okay, now we're back. Now let's put this back together. So obviously you got to be careful, make sure you get the holes down in. At the top. Pop it back together. Now we will look at putting the connections in. They are a little bit stiffer, and you have to hear that pop. And that lets you know they're all the way in. Now they do come out relatively easy. The same thing on the side. Okay. Now let's see it in operation. First thing you want to do is you can use either end. And this is going to be great for if you want to use an old 9-volt power supply. So basically you just pop it. Now that you have a phone that is compatible with the Sbrick app, we download it, and you can find that on your app store. And you just go Sbrick. You can see a bunch of sets that I've already added right here. And what we have to do is, if you want to add a set, you go plus, add set, and you can do an official set here. You can use a search bar across the top, but let's just do add a mock. Basically what you can do is you can give a name, and you can give an image, you can change the image, and then what also you can do is, what you need to do before you connect an Sbrick, what you want to do is you want to add a profile. And from here you can either use some generic ones that they provide, which you can either be gyro sensors, and we'll look through a few of them. Actually, we'll just add a couple right now. Let's just say generic gamepad with one controller. So we'll do that one, and then we'll add another profile, and we'll just say the joystick with a gyro sensor. We'll do that one, and then we'll add another profile here, and we'll say this 4203, the Volvo set, because I'm actually going to set it up here and install it and show you it working in it. Now what we want to do is we want to add an Sbrick. So we're just going to turn the Sbrick on, see the light flash, and now we're going to add an Sbrick here. Last connected 4 minutes ago, so that'd be this one. And from there, we got the Sbrick added. Now what we want to do is we want to go on to this Sbrick right here, and we have to define where each one of these motors are going to go. So this first step here is, this is how you orient it. There's A, B, C, D. So on A, we'll have so we'll do C for steering, and C is going to be this bottom one right here. So that'll be the servo motor, and you can actually hear the servo motor turn on when you do it. And we'll do acceleration, and we'll put the RC motor for acceleration, and that's D port, so we'll put that there. We'll use the large motor for the head up, and then we'll also use, well actually that's going to be the small motor, and then we'll use the extra large motor in the other spot. So set these up right here. So that's everything we got, A, B, C, D, pretty easy. Then you can actually invert the way the motor runs. So that's that comes in handy. And from here, we just go back. Now we have a bunch of these profiles here to use. And once you're back here in your own mocks, you actually go down to the one we just made. And I'm going to use this 42030, the Volvo. And we'll see this go right here. So we should see this motor go. Now the one thing I don't like about it is if you get to the very extreme, the motor shut off. I think that's something they can probably fix in the firmware. Like, I think they have the limit set to stop. And then we can see the servo motor. We'll just take this button. Oh. It does the same thing. Once you get out to the extreme, it stops. And the same thing with going forward. It's extreme, it stops. It seems to be pretty proportional. So that's for the Volvo. And we'll go back and look at a different setting here. And let's just say we do the gyro sensor here. So basically you got to turn the gyro sensor on. And then from here, you see, speed this up here. And this is the same thing too. If you go straight all the way to the extreme, it actually stops. And then as soon as you go back up, it's fast. So on the gyro sensor, when you're doing it this way, it's pretty nice. But then once again, you go too far and it stops. I think they can probably do that with a firmware. But it is pretty proportional. It is return to center, so it's great. So you just want to, once you're done, you want to turn the sync off there. So that's that one. And the next one, we'll just do a gamepad here. And this is just the standard gamepad. It's just going to use the acceleration and steering on it. So, so that's that. Once again, you can see once you go to the extreme, it resets. So it's got to be the best app so far. Okay. So now what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go take this and put it in the Volvo set, and then we'll see it operate in that set. So I'm going to do some magic and magically make it enter it. So it shouldn't be too hard, but well, okay, I'll be back. So now we have the Sbrick loaded into the Volvo. And what we're going to do is set up a profile for it. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to create a new one right here in front of us. We're going to add a set. I'm just going to do it a mock here. And you can give it a name, you can add a photo to it and add a profile. What we want to do is add a profile. Now this profile that I'm going to add, I actually got off the market here, where people have already uploaded profiles. And the one I'm going to do is for the Volvo. So Lego 42030. That's the one we want. So that's the profile we're going to use there. And I'm going to add another profile just for fun. And we're just going to add the joystick here, controller with gyro. And now we want to add an Sbrick. Now I've got an Sbrick in there, and I've labeled the Sbrick as Volvo Sbrick 1. So we're going to add that Sbrick. And anytime you add something, you can always go and delete it here. Because if you just grab this and you slide it over, you'll see the delete. So you delete it. So you can just delete it, go away, and you just go back through. And you can add the profile again. Now for the Sbrick, we want to go down to the Sbrick itself, and you can add and delete the Sbricks as you go. Now for each one of these ports, we want to make sure that this is what we've once set up, and I've so far looked at it as the A port up here is going to be for the arm. The B port is going to be for the steering. The C is going to be for the acceleration. And D is for the head up and down. From here, I always suggest, I also inverted 2 of these, just so that they work properly up and down. And actually, I'm going to just show you that the arm up and down inverted right now, so it's not going to work right. But we'll go to port tester here, and we'll just test to make sure all the ports are working. Okay, they're all good. So we'll go back, and we'll go back again. So that's all set up for the Volvo. And now that we're back at the, you can go all the way back, but you go to the mock page, and you pick what kind of profile you're going to use. And we're going to use the one we just set up here. So here you can actually add on more, so you can have lights and everything. If you add another Sbrick in here, but I only put the one in. And for the arm, we're gonna see that it goes up and down, but it's the wrong direction. So we will have to go back into the profile, and we just hit settings, scroll down to the Sbrick, and we just invert that one. We go back, and we're back here again, and now it should go up. And the bucket will work. It's nice to be able to do this because you can level the bucket out as well as you go. And once again, I think it's a little problem with the app, but if you are using the controller, and like say we're raising this and I go too far and I hit the top, it stops. I think they can probably fix that. And then for steering, here's the steering side to side, and then you go up and down. Is for forward and reverse. And now I'm going to show you the version with the joystick. Now the joystick is only going to use 2 of the outputs on the Sbrick, the certain one, but I just wanted to show it to you. Forward and reverse, steering, and that's just about what you can do with this Sbrick, with this profile. So I'll turn off the gyro, and we'll go back. Now the next thing I want to show you is the possibilities that you can have when you have 2 Sbricks. Now I have this other Sbrick that I have named. I'll go to manage bricks, and we will turn on the Sbrick. You see that one pop up? That's Sbrick 2, and it was recently connected 12 minutes ago. So we'll go back to settings here. Now I'm going to go back down to the profile we just set up for the Volvo, and I'm just going to go into settings and go down to Sbricks. Now I'm going to add another Sbrick. I'm going to add that other Sbrick 2 here, and we see that Sbrick 2. Now I'm going to do this so that the steering, both servo motors have the same steering. So the steering is actually port B, so we'll put steering there. And then the other 3 motors is just going to be random here, like A on the other one was for the arm up and down, C was for the acceleration, and D was for the bucket here, which is head up and down. So we just set all those, and we can test all the ports here. It's connected. Oh. So there's that small motor, servo, extra large motor, and the large motor. So they all work. So now I'm going to go back to the Volvo profile, and I'm going to show you with the arm going up and down. You see now 2 motors are running. The one on the Sbrick running off the Volvo Sbrick, and the other Sbrick that I have right here. I think this will come in handy for situations when you have high-powered RC motors and you're going to be using 2 battery boxes to get over the current limit protection. And this is for the bucket, show that. And then for steering, you can see the servo motors. work in tandem, same with the forward and reverse. And that seems to work for most apps, or not apps, but profiles. So like if you do the joystick profile once again, it's just going to be the servo and drive motor. And it's all pretty responsive. And then, like say when you're done with that, you were just fooling around, you can actually just go back to settings underneath that, and you can go to that Sbrick 2. Because actually I'll show you this what happens. Is if you have the two Sbricks connected, and you turn off the one, and then you try to go use that profile, it's going to be looking for that other Sbrick, trying to connect to it. So you just hit cancel, and you go to settings, you go on the Sbrick 2, slide it over, hit delete. It won't be looking for that second Sbrick, so you go back, and then you can go to the, and then it automatically links into the other Sbrick, and you're good to go. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm very happy that Sbrick has done this. It was something that seemed to be missing from the Lego creations, and the infrared to me was a rather large design thing you had to get over, because and the range was terrible. So I'm very happy with this. These are very worth the money in my opinion, and I'll probably be purchasing additional ones right after I buy a phone that can actually run the app. So I hope you enjoy this, and have a great day.